Started from the bottom, all I had was a dream. Always been alone, never really had a team. Cause the loyalty is suspect, nothing's what it seems. As I'm counting all this money, thinking how to make it clean. Never been broke, see I always had a job. And before I learned to hustle, I was taught how to rob. Nice with the hands, but I'm iller with the shot. Battling depression cause it's lonely at the top. Drinking all this Henny just to try and ease the pain. Though I never had regrets, there's some things that I wouldn't do the same. I would never change for some change, and I never let the sneak distance take me out my game. I'm a grown man. Unless it's for my kids, I don't hold hands. Cause they hate it when you focused on your own plans. So I gamble with my money, I don't gamble with my life in the street. Cause you only get one bottle of that Henny and I mix it with some Red Bull. Got a couple pills that I'm popping for the pain.
What's going on? My name is Marcus Whitley, and yes, this is Good Behavior. Now, this episode is a special episode because it's another work release segment where I get to travel outside of the studio and interview different guests. Now, today, I have M. Dot with me, who is one of Boston's biggest underground hip hop artists. You want to say what's up to the viewers? Let them know what's going on.
Appreciate you having me, man. This is an honor for me. Thanks for the nice words, and I love what you're doing.
Appreciate
that.
Man.
I mean that, you know.
So you want to let them know a little bit about you?
Been doing music for a long time. I feel the grays in my beard now, and I produce, I rap, I try to do a little bit more every day, trying to get better every day. But I've done music now for, oh my God, it's like, what is it, 2026 now? So almost 23 years, you know what I mean? I was starting in high school, and but you know, not to sound cheesy, but I want to be more, when I'm gone, if I'm remembered as a rapper, then I failed as a person, you know, so I want to do a lot more than that. But I love making music. I love writing. I love touring. And I love producing now, especially because I just started producing within the last 5 years during COVID.
Okay.
You know.
Now, do you feel like that made you grow more as an artist, learning how to produce? Or do you feel like the COVID era?
Absolutely. It was, for me, the production, it opened up a different part of my brain that, like, with rapping, I felt like if I'm, you know, listening to a beat, I have to rap in that pocket. And with producing, I felt like a freedom like I never felt before, where I could just make a beat 190 BPM or 70 BPM, whatever it is, and I could add any sounds and any elements, and I felt less restricted. And it was just digging for records. I just found a record today. I was in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Now it's like my favorite thing when I'm in Europe. I wish I had been doing it longer, long time ago, because I was in Europe all those times where I could have been digging in records in Germany and Austria and Switzerland. And the amount of vinyls that are out there, it's like treasure. It's like finding something. It's literally euphoria. I'm chasing that now. And it's, to me, the most, you know, for me musically, it gave me a rebirth, a new excitement about music. Because you get bored with hip hop, after a while, it gets redundant. And, you know, especially when you've done 500 songs or you're later in your career or your life with music, for me, like, it was like I wanted to do something else. I didn't want to just be a rapper. I wanted to, like, make beats or do other stuff when it came to, like, what I could come to the table with, you know, especially when I get older and I'm 60 years old and I can't tour. If, God forbid, if I don't tour as much, I can still produce from home, you know.
Right. Now, growing up in the Boston area, were you ever tempted by the streets to fall into the streets, or were you able to stay focused and stay on the right path?
I mean, I had great parents. That was a big factor, you know, and we do like a lot of conscious hip hop, and I've, you know, my whole life I've worked with artists who've been in and out of street situations, jail, whatever, you know, and I don't talk about it a lot because I've moved past that, but I had plenty of stuff when I was younger where I was, you know, I had issues, you know, being arrested, and I graduated from that. I wanted to get away from that. I wanted to be better with my life. So, you know, cats get it misconstrued. Just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean you didn't live it, you know? So I grew up in Revere. I was in East Boston only till I was 5. So that doesn't really count because I moved out of there. And, but I had a great, you know, a great childhood. I didn't have, you know, any situation I look back on that I would change because it made me who I am. But those, that me running wild when I was younger, made me better now. It made me get that out of my system. You know what I mean? Being a kid, and I feel like when you get to a certain point, a certain age, I want to like get past that, get away from that. I feel like a real man takes care of his family. A real man tries to like evolve. A real man tries to help other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this music is just entertainment, but like, there's plenty of songs we do, we talk about stuff, but I want to try to also give people like a message that with hard work, good things can happen. That it doesn't have to be just that life portrayed, you can get out of that situation and make it into a positive, So, yeah.
Right. So when did you first get into music? Like, when did you find out like that was your passion?
Wow. Oh man, my mom, I always tell the story. She always used to play records when I was a kid and quiz me on like who the records were, and like, funk and soul and rock, even, obviously jazz, like all these records were sampled eventually by hip hop. That's where hip hop came from. What's the saying? Like, hip hop didn't create anything, it recreated everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's so true when you think of it that way. And when I would hear these records, I'd be like, I know this song. When I would hear like a song, and I'd be like, oh my God, like I know that record from George Clinton, like the original record. And I was so, and me playing basketball in high school and in college, like it was hand in hand with hip hop. Like it's just hand in hand. And it's just, nothing moved me like rap. Nothing moved me like where I'd be like, wow, like I could relate to most of the stuff with hip hop. You know what I mean? But yeah, my mom playing old records, that was a humongous factor,
So throughout your career, when did you realize like it wasn't a hobby anymore? Like you finally made it something.
When I started getting paid. Yeah, that's it. When I started getting paid, when I was in college and I started getting like college, college paid shows and stuff. That was when I was like,
nice.
Like, cause there is money to be made. You just have to work your ass off,
So you said you've also traveled overseas. So when did you start getting into that?
So like 2000,
how did that come about?
2009. 2009 is crazy how long it's been. And like, yeah, I just kept on going ever since then. Now it's like 17 times we've toured Europe, flown out there to do something I love. Like I don't gut it like that. We just every year have to work harder, put out more music, bang on more doors, find more people that when we go over there that are happy with, when we go there that we perform, do what we're supposed to do, show up on time, give a great show, don't do what we're supposed to do. Don't, do your job. Don't break the microphones, treat the people right, stay to sell all your merch, be polite to the person booking you, be polite to the sound guy, because they don't have to keep booking you. That's what I tell people all the time. They have their own artists out there that French rapping or German rapping that they could book.
All right, so being in the hip hop community, have you ever been put in situations that reflect the bad image of hip hop?
What I personally don't like is I see a lot of times where I see jaded fans or jaded artists who buy records from artists and they don't send their records to them. Or you could see like a nervousness from someone who might buy your record because they're worried. And that's wild to me that if someone purchases something that you don't send them their vinyl. Other instances would be like if someone pays for a feature, they're afraid because other artists have burnt them where they don't, send them the proper acapella stems, or they don't, help promote the record, or I feel like if you're doing business, whether it's a fan, whether it's a feature, do what you're supposed to do on your side. Cause now like a lot of these artists, a lot of these, producers or rappers that are paying you for a verse, or fans who are buying your merch, if other artists have burnt them, they're a little bit more tentative to work with you and stuff. It ruins that. And artists, even what I was talking about with being with festivals or just showing up on time or doing what you're supposed to do. We're older now. There's no excuses. Like you say you're gonna do something, you do it. You say you're gonna be somewhere, you just be there. That's what it is. And I think ego is a big factor, and I have it too, but like that's a big factor. Insecurity is a big factor. But like when when they want me to come perform in another country, when they want to buy my album, it's a privilege for me. As dope as good as the music might be, it doesn't matter. They don't have to pay me to go perform a show in another country. That's an honor for me. And as I get more advanced in life, I look at that as like how blessed I am that people want to come see me perform, because I've done shows where there's 10 people 20 years ago. I mean, still, there's plenty of shows that they're not all packed. And I've seen legends where they're not all packed for the show, because just living off your name isn't always going to be possible if your music quality isn't good, or your effort on stage isn't good, or your effort with like doing what you're supposed to with fans as far as giving them what they give you. And that's just like the to me the right way. Give them, give back what you're given, because they could go buy someone else's music. They don't have to buy mine.
Right.
And it's a small example, but that example is something that always like sticks with me. People who are jaded from dealing with rappers that kind of treat them like shit. So yeah.
Now, being an artist, do you feel like you have to live up to a certain image as to be a rap artist?
That's the best thing about what I do. That's the best thing. I'm glad you asked that, because not having an image, not having a facade, I can be me everywhere I go. I can see people on my job, like if I'm working a job, or if I'm, if I'm just in the grocery store, I don't have to keep up that persona, because like everything I say in the music, it's who I am. So it's like, I can't imagine I can't imagine like having to be that persona if you're being something that's not you, and you have to be that persona at 55 years old in the grocery store with your kids. Right. Like, it's crazy to me. So like it's just what you put out in the world. Like I don't want to single out anything. It's just like, if you're talking about, Southern packs and doing drive-bys, and someone sees you walking your poodle outside, with, like a grocery store, and it's like, yo, you're not really doing that. You're right here. Like, so it's like, that to me, that's imprisoning. That's prison for me, having to be locked into that image, That's why I feel like if you really say who you are in the music, you'll shine, even if it takes longer. It's going to take longer for someone like me, because it's blue collar music, which is like, there's no bullshit fantasy story. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, it's easy. I find it easier if people are running away from who they are. I'm running towards who I am. Yeah. And if you get older, everyone gets older. When you get older, you should realize that more, because you'd be like, yo, this life is short. I want to be looked at like, yo, this is who I was. This is who I am. I know I'm dragging this one, but I wanted to say that, and I always want to say that. It blows my mind if you're saying something you're not, how do you portray that every day when you're in regular life? You have to put on a mask. You have to always wear that mask.
And it's crazy, because fans don't know how to separate the fact of, as you get older, you're 40, 50 now, and you're not going to be rapping about the streets anymore.
No.
Or even if you do, like, you don't live that anymore. Your goal in life is to make it out. So, but fans don't see that. They hear your music and they think that's the way that you still live, and they might still want to test you, or they might still, like, look up to you. Like, you see all these rappers that are getting killed now because they talk about it in their music, but that's not really them.
That's not them anymore, or whatever.
Yes. All right, so circling back to you being able to do music and travel overseas, how hard is that for you, being a father and being away from your kids and your family?
It's, with anything we were talking about before we started doing the interview, it's sacrifices. Like I look at it like, when I go for, let's just say I tour twice a year, and it's like 2 weeks and 2 weeks. Let's just say that's 1 month out of the whole year. I have to be so productive when I'm there. I have to do, not just the show, a song, a video. Every stop that I stop, every city, I have to do a song, a show, a video. Because when I'm home, like, it's, I want to be with the kids fully. Like, and I explain it to people, like, when they work a job, and let's say you work a job and you're going to the job early at 5 a.m. and you have to drive into the city, and by the time you get home, it's, you know, whatever, 6 p.m. You get a little time with the kids before you put them to bed, especially if they're young, and you don't get the full amount of time. And, you know, usually nowadays with work, you might work 6 days a week. So the only real day you get with them is Sunday. So I think of it like that little time that you get, like, I don't think of 2 weeks like as difficult as it is. I think of it as like, then I come home and I'm laid off. I'm with them full time for now 3 straight months where I'm with them every day, taking them to school. So like when I'm working and I only get, you know, a couple hours a day with them, especially, you know, like the majority of it is when when I'm sleeping, I look at it like I'm blessed to have that opportunity when I come home from tour to be with them more, you know, like, and I look at it as like chasing music and taking a layoff of work, you know, chasing music and taking a layoff at work. I look at it like a positive, because then I get more time with the kids. So it's a sacrifice on both sides. It's a sacrifice where I might not stay at a job, or I might not stay, or I have to go on tour for 2 weeks. But like when I'm there, I want to stack up so much music that when I'm coming home, that now I can have more time with them, because I've stacked 10 videos and I've stacked 10 recorded songs, and I did a bunch of like shows when I was there, because then I can come home with something. Because when I'm here, when I'm with them, the creative process is a lot different, because I'm not around the music, I'm not on tour, I'm not around the producers. You know, like we're older, where it's like it's not all day doing music, you know. So I just, you know, when I'm there, as much as, you know, it's 2 weeks is nothing in the grand scheme of like when I'm home, I'm not getting as much time if I'm working. So I love it. I love that little time where I can get super productive with music, FaceTime them every day, and then get full amount of time with them when I'm home. But it's all a sacrifice, and to do something great, you have to make sacrifices.
Right.
You know.
And I mean, I'm sure they see that, and they appreciate all that time that they get to spend with you. And, I mean, only being gone 1 month out of the year, that's not too bad.
No, and it's not forever either. Like, and it's not something that, like, you know, it's something where I take the opportunity, I make the best of it. That's why I want to be so productive when I'm there, because I want to look at it like, hey, I don't know how often I'll get these opportunities, you know. And eventually, when they get older, I'd love for them. It's a rigorous road, and it's a war of attrition when I'm doing these trips, because it's not like an Aerosmith tour where I have like a tour bus and a tour manager. But I want them to eventually come with me and stuff, so that they can see Europe, and I'd like it to grow from there. Or I'd like to someday build enough of a place where I could, you know, tour more here, tour in America. But, you know, as you've seen, like hip hop has changed and went a different direction, which is fine. But yeah, it's a sacrifice, like I said, you know.
Now, you also did a song with Method Man. So how did that come about?
So like we actually did 2 songs, and the original one was 2014, and a producer, DC Soul Plus Mind, sent me the track to jump on. He was doing something with Method Man. He does licensing for movies, and I know Method Man was doing a bunch of movies at the time, and the producer literally sent it to me to jump on. I actually almost missed the opportunity, because I was going through a lot of stuff at that time, and I almost missed it. And I'm pretty sure like he had sent me a message like a month later, like, hey, you know, like I'm gonna move another direction. And I sent I actually don't know if I've told this part of the story, that like when he said that to me, I'm pretty sure he was getting someone else on it too. And I was like, no, like, you know, the next day I sent him my verse and I got it done. And yeah, to this day, it's one of my favorite verses I've ever done. And then the second song we just released just a couple months ago, it's one of the greats, you know. I wish I could, like, I tell this to people all the time, like, it's not like, you know, 1992 where you're in the studio with people, you know, the files are sent, you know, like I wasn't, like I've met the man on tour before, like just, you know, in passing, but like, we weren't in the studio together, but it's still like an honor for me to be on a record with him, an official record, you know, like, and yeah, shout out to DC for putting together the producer. But yeah, I'm honored, man. He's one of my favorite MCs. So
I know he's been around for a long time doing this.
Yeah, and it's for me to acquire it just off of relationships is crazy. Like I didn't throw crazy money at Method Man. It happened because I was good to DC, the producer. I looked out for him. That's a whole nother story, but I had looked out for him when he first started producing, and I put full effort into the records that we were doing together. And he had hit me up thinking I was big back in the MySpace days, and I wasn't really, I wasn't really in my eyes that known, but he thought I was. But I looked out for him as if, I treated him as if he was Dr. Dre on the production. I treated him the same I would treat anybody, and he was just starting, so he's like, I'll never forget this. And then when he did the song with Method Man, he sent me the track to jump on, so he looked out for me. And that's all it is, man. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
If you never know, treat people the same, because you never know, they'll be climbing up that ladder someday too, and they might be above you, and now they're reaching down to pick you up. So
I mean, it's important to have and build good relationships. But I mean, the most important thing is just to overall be known as a good person. So that way, when anybody mentions your name, there's no bad to it. They're just like, he's a good person. He's good to work with.
That's everything. That's everything. And that's what we're built on. Like, if there's one thing, like I said, if I'm remembered, I know for a fact that cats will always say that I'm smiling and happy, and, obviously I can always be better. But treating people good, that's the way, that's the real reason that we're here, is to be good to other people. As I'm telling you, as cliche as it sounds, that's the key to life, being good to people. And it's not completely altruistic where like I do it and then good stuff comes back to me. So it's not like I'm just doing it. I'm doing it like selfishly as well, because like now something good may come my way too, but it makes me feel good as well. And I always could do more. And I always want to do more. And I always want to get better. And, but yes, for me, my whole entire thing is built off relationships, friendships. I'm able to go to Europe all these times because of friendships I made, because of relationships I've kept, personal friendships, personal family relationships now that I have, where I can go to Europe, and these friends now, family they go to bat for me with the promoter. Yo, this dude, he's gonna come here and he's gonna kill it. And it's something that you could be a legend, and you don't always have that opportunity because you might have burnt bridges, or you might not be as consistent, or you might not have, you might have had ego get in the way of having a show. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I don't need $10,000, but I need this amount of money. And you know what I mean? I don't need a crazy hotel, but I'm trying, like, I don't need a 10-person entourage. Like, obviously I'll get paid, but like, I want to make it where it makes you not like lose your house because you're paying me to do a show, but also still getting a relationship where like, hey, now we work together forever. While I'm there, we're going to do a song and a video, So it goes a long way.
It does. Now, you also have given back to the community and went out and spoke to different, was it kids?
Yeah. We
why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Man, that's so easy for like, I don't deserve any pat on the back. It's just, it's a good look for me, but I've talked at schools back in the day. I went to Cambridge, I went to Lynn. When I was living in Lynn, I went and talked to a couple schools, and it's just basically saying that they had seen me in the paper and they said, hey, you want to come by and say that if you stay on the path and work hard, good things can happen. That's it, and it's the truth. Like, if you put everything you have into something and you put good energy, good things will happen. Half of the battle is just like Tom Brady always talks about availability. Like, if you're there when the bell is rung, or the quarterback goes down and you're ready to step up, if you're prepared and you're ready to go into the game, that's the main thing. Like being healthy, being on point, showing up. That's it. And you can get better. You don't have to be the first round pick. You don't have to be the the guy who's 6'7" and dunking the basketball. But if you show up every day and bust your ass and work hard, and you can make up a lot of ground for the people that are talented, that aren't working and not busting their ass, and not maintaining relationships. So showing up. So I tell that to anybody who I talk to. Anything is achievable with hard work if you stay consistent. That's the majority of it.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, the kids need these positive role models and people to look up to, like you going to talk to them.
Yeah.
I mean, you even got acknowledged by what was it, the mayor at the time.
Yeah, Thomas McGee wrote a nice letter. The senator, that's crazy. When I was living in Lynn, he wrote me a letter when we won the Boston Music Awards, and we had been talking at a couple schools. It's just, man, it's dope because, you know, like I said, I'm just at the time, you know, I'm thinking I'm just liking to I write rhymes and like, you know, like this is like, it's dope for any acknowledgement, but there's still so many people who don't know, you know, who we are, and there's still so many people that haven't heard the music yet. So like I keep reiterating, to have anybody tuned in is a blessing, you know?
So, wow, you just said winning the Boston Music Awards. What was that like?
It was cool. My parents were there. Never forget it. Rev was there. Shouts to Rev. Yeah, man, it's dope. It's the same award show that like Aerosmith and Fish and you know, like all these old school classic rock bands have been a part of. So, you know, it's just a lot of work went into it. And yeah, man, I'm lucky, you know, because an award doesn't mean much, but it's nice to get acknowledged, you know.
I mean, for all that work you put in, it is nice to be acknowledged.
Trying, man, trying. There's always more to do. I feel like I have to do a lot more. Like I say all the time, you know, people, you know, what have you done for me lately? You know, like, so it's like, yo, think of how quick the microwave generation is right now, where you put something out and then people on to the next thing 10 minutes later. You know, people, their duration of watching something is like 4 seconds, you know.
Right. That's why even how music, not only the style has changed, but the length of a song has changed.
Yeah.
You don't have 4-minute songs anymore.
You don't have 3 verses. You don't have 3 verses anymore.
You never see 3 verses anymore.
No. I try to sneak in like long verses now, because like if they tuned in and they you know, are liking the verse so far, they'll stay tuned as I keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you gotta adjust, man, adapt or die. You know.
Now, is there anything else that you got going on that you want to let the viewers know about?
I got another solo album coming, and it's on a label from Austria, Soul Chain Records, and you know, we just put out the last album with Confidence, and it's that was on Below System Records. That was a label, in where are they from? I think they're in Holland, and it's dope, man. It's dope to have anybody backing us. So yeah, we got the new album, my solo album. I got a project with me and Big Shug from Gang Style. And, you know, just I've been trying to produce a couple songs for a couple TV shows and movies. I don't know when those will come out, but it's like a slow burn where, like, you know, once it makes something, then you'll see it. But we have a song and a couple songs in a couple different shows, one on BMF, 50 Cent show. And then we had one, what was the other one recently we had on a show, I forget the name of it. Robin Williams is in it, actually. Wow. It was, so what happened with that is they had a, what's the name of the show? But it's on Peacock, and it's a rebroadcast of this show from the 90s. It was like on NBC or whatever. That's why Peacock has it, because they're connected with NBC. And when they originally had the audio, there's a kid with headphones on, and the original audio is like them listening to Public Enemy or whatever, you know, for the soundtrack in the score of the scene. And that contract must have run out. Like the time period on that contract with that music they were paying for had run out, so they have to put in new audio. So when Peacock releases it, they used our audio for the scene, which is actually a trip. So I was just showing my pops yesterday. But yeah, so it's dope because Ron Williams has passed away, so I would have never imagined I'd be in a show with him in it. So yeah, man, just I'm so lucky. Like I say it all the time. That's a blessing for sure. But yeah, so we literally have I have 2 projects done, complete. I just have to wait for the artwork and the mastering and stuff. And I'm touring again in July. Just now spending as much time with the family as I can. Okay. My message we were talking about is just, you know, if you want something, don't make excuses, go get it. If you want something, I don't want to talk to people who ruminate and let stuff, all the negative and like, you have to focus on, yo, look at the blessings I have. I'm here talking to you. I walked into this room. My legs are working. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the ability to do something I love. I live in this world or this country where I can go and chase a dream. You know what I'm saying? Like I just meant like I don't live in a mud hut. I'm blessed. So like I don't want to complain about anything. You know, and I have plenty of hardships, and I have plenty of things that are not great. But I'm like, oh wait, I can flip this to a positive. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if you want something, don't look at the excuses, don't look at the negatives, look at the positives. Like, this is what you were given as an opportunity, you know?
Right.
So,
well, I appreciate you for coming, sharing all
Yes,
this
sir.
with us. Like, this is huge, man. This means a lot to me. I appreciate it.
you were a good friend for a long time. I appreciate you having me.
It was,
You
man.
know?
We should have made this happen sooner. But it's never too late to make things happen.
And it's actually better now because we're at better stages
Yes.
of our life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm proud of you with the show, man.
No, I appreciate it.
For
'Cause
real.
when we first met, it was right when I came home.
This is
so I was
crazy.
still just getting established with everything. And I wasn't even doing the podcast or had
And look
the
at how
books. I
legit
was
this
still-
is.
I know.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, man. You're doing
I
a lot for the
appreciate it.
community. I love this dude, and that's it, you know? So,
Now, I hope this episode was able to give you the perspective of a hip hop artist and just a great man in general. To show you that you can chase any dream that you want and achieve it. Now, I'd like to thank my special guest M. Dot again for coming through. My name is Marcus Whitley, and this is Good Behavior. So until the next episode.
yo, I gotta say one thing. Listen, sorry,
Oh,
you could use
my
this
bad. We
later.
still-
No, I gotta tell you on one thing, and this isn't mine, but I want y'all to use this. I just touched the mic, but yo, this isn't mine, but I want y'all to use this. The same boiling water that makes a potato soft makes an egg hard. You can dictate your day. You don't have to let your environment dictate your day. You control your day. Whether it's inside a box, whether it's in a tough situation, you can make your day. You can put down your thoughts. You can use it as time to write a rhyme. You can use it as a point of reflection. You can use it as time to work out. Meaning, like, whatever it is, you can dictate the situation, even if you're locked up for the moment, even if you're in a tough situation where you're not seeing your kid at the time, dealing with custody battles, whatever. You can flip it to a positive by controlling your side of the street. The same boiling water that makes an egg hard makes a potato soft. Which one are you? That's it.
For more episodes and info, you can find me on all social media at I am Marcus Whitley, and find any of my books, Both Sides of the Street, Choices and Consequences, Greatness Under Pressure, and Battling Demons, all on Amazon. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.